Hey everyone. Today we're jumping into one of the biggest debates in short-form marketing. Which ad format actually wins on TikTok? The raw, phone-shot UGC stuff or the polished studio-style spots? I'm going to walk you through the psychology behind both, real-world performance patterns I've seen, and a practical no-fluff testing framework so you can run both and let the data decide. This is a no-guesswork approach. Just a straightforward playbook you can use this week. Quick intro. I'm someone who helps creators and brands turn long content into short clips that actually perform, and I lean on a few tools to make it happen. You've probably seen two types of ads scrolling through your feed. Ones that feel like a friend telling you about a product, and others that look like mini TV commercials. Every format naturally has its own set of pros, and every format also comes with inherent flaws. And both deserve a place in your funnel. So what are we even calling UGC versus studio ads? UGC, user-generated content, is that raw, handheld, casual vibe. It generally features natural lighting, someone talking directly to the camera, quick cuts, and maybe a simple caption on screen. It's the, I tried this and it changed my skin clip you'd expect from a friend. The primary value proposition of this style is undeniable authenticity. Studio ads, conversely, rely on professional cameras, deliberate lighting setups, voiceovers, branded graphics, and slick motion design. They read as authoritative and polished, like a 15-30-second commercial reimagined for vertical video. Why it matters. TikTok's algorithm favors content that feels native and honest, but consumers, especially for pricier or more complicated purchases, still want proof of legitimacy. That's why a one-size-fits-all approach rarely works. Simply put, UGC excels at grabbing immediate attention while studio content is designed to systematically close any existing trust gaps. Let's dig into some benchmark trends I've seen across dozens of campaigns. UGC usually outperforms on cold audiences for engagement, 20 to 30% higher. Click-through rates is common because viewers interpret UGC as a peer recommendation. Studio spots typically convert better on audiences who've already seen the brand. Retargeting pools or email lists tend to deliver a 10 to 15% higher purchase rate with studio creatives, because the production polish reduces friction when someone's already mid-funnel. If you're testing on a shoestring budget or launching a new offer, UGC typically hits break-even faster. Studio ads can take longer to ramp, but once they're integrated into a funnel, they often scale more reliably. Therefore, the core strategic framing suggests using UGC primarily for the initial introduction and rapid testing phases. Conversely, you should deploy polished studio content for crucial message reinforcement and final sales closing actions. Remember that these two formats are fundamentally complementary, not direct competitors in the marketing battle. Now, let's explore the fundamental psychology behind why user-generated content is so effective and how you can maximize its potential. People don't stop scrolling for specs. They stop for stories. A UGC clip gives a short, relatable moment. I use this, here's what happened, and that feels like a recommendation from someone you trust. This format is inherently accessible, incredibly nimble, and very inexpensive to produce at scale. You can batch a week's worth of hooks in an hour and start A/B tests the same day. One thing I've started doing is using an auto-editing tool to turn longer videos into UGC-ready clips. Instead of scripting every single short, I let the AI find the viral bits, the emotional peaks, the short demos, the snappy one-liners, and then I polish them. That approach lets you churn out dozens of native-looking UGC clips without burning a whole production day on each one. However, we must acknowledge that the raw UGC style is certainly not a perfect solution for every scenario. If your product needs explanation, think tech gadgets, complex supplements, or high-ticket services, a quick handheld clip can feel lightweight or vague. This is the precise moment when opting for a more controlled and structured presentation becomes absolutely necessary. Conversely, the production polish of studio creative is where your investment truly begins to pay off. These polished creatives do much more than just look aesthetically pleasing. They immediately communicate a high degree of professionalism. For higher ticket price points or more technical products, well-edited footage, clear voiceover, and motion graphics reduce anxiety. People interpret polish as care. If a brand invests in a clean production, the product feels safer to buy. Studio spots are great for retargeting because they can clearly explain features, show specs side by side, or display social proof in a tidy way. The clear drawback is that these professional assets naturally cost more time and money to create and iterate upon. This is why you should be strategic about when to use them. Don't send your entire cold spend to a cinematic spot. Use it where it amplifies trust. It is also crucial to briefly discuss the necessary tool stack, as the right technology makes all the difference here. There are lots of options, and each has its strengths and limitations. Some platforms will auto-generate rough UGC-style scripts, which is great for ideation, but it doesn't edit clips out of long-form videos for you. Other services can make slick, animated ads quickly, but they don't handle scheduling or batch clipping from a one-hour live stream. That's where a solution that auto-extracts viral bits from long videos, turns them into post-ready clips, and then cues them on a calendar becomes a real efficiency hack. If you're trying to run both formats, here's a practical A/B testing framework that wins more often than not. For the UGC version, use a casual phone shot take that convincingly simulates a genuine personal recommendation. Whenever possible, pull the most impactful lines directly from your existing long-form content for maximum authenticity. For the studio version, produce a polished 15 to 30-second edit that delivers the same core pitch but with significantly higher production value. Launch both creatives simultaneously in an identical campaign split, ensuring they run undisturbed for a full 7-day testing cycle. The critical step is meticulously comparing the resulting click-through rates, add-to-cart rates, and final purchase conversions. After the week concludes, immediately double down your spend on the clear winner and begin iterating on new hooks and creative variations. As a professional tip, you should always strive to keep the core script beat structurally consistent across both creative formats. Every strong short shares the same basic architecture: hook, promise, proof, or demonstration, and a clear call to action. The actual method of delivery will definitely change, but the fundamental underlying story structure must remain the same. For UGC, the hook could be someone picking up a product and saying, "I wasn't expecting this," while for studio, you might open with a bold visual and the same line in a voiceover. If both ads communicate the same fundamental narrative, your test will show whether voice and production matter more than the message itself. Now, let's detail the practical steps for building both creative types without completely losing your sanity in the process. For UGC, record multiple 15 to 30-second takes from long videos, highlight personal reactions, quick demos, or a one-sentence problem-solution hook. If you're short on time, let an auto editor scan your long video, find the short emotional peaks, and give you 10 candidate clips. From those candidates, select the absolute best 3 clips to immediately put into your posting queue. For studio, start with the same script, but add product close-ups, a clear overlay showing specs or price, and a short visual CTA. If you can't hire a studio, use an ad template generator. It'll handle motion and layout so you can still land that polished look fast. The trick is to make sure the message is aligned with the UGC work, so your test is apples to apples. Let's pivot briefly to discuss the often misunderstood relationship between the right tools and the overall content workflow. There are plenty of niche platforms. Some will auto-write UGC-style scripts, others auto-generate nice-looking static or animated ads. But the missing piece I keep seeing is the gap between long content and consistent short clips plus scheduled publishing. Many creators have hours of long-form live streams, interviews, or podcasts that could be a goldmine for short content, but extracting and scheduling that content is a manual time sink. That's where a solution that auto-extracts viral moments from long videos, turns them into post-ready clips, and then queues them on a calendar becomes a real efficiency hack. You get native-looking UGC clips, you can batch-produce studio-style variations from the same source material, and you keep a content calendar so you're not throwing posts up ad hoc. To be clear, standalone script generators and dedicated ad template makers certainly still offer significant value. Platforms that auto-generate rough UGC-style scripts can save you many hours during the initial ideation phase. Similarly, dedicated animation and layout tools allow for rapid creation of polished ads without needing an expensive production crew. But when you combine auto-editing of long videos, intelligent clip selection, and scheduled publishing, you get a system that produces consistent, testable creative at scale. This integrated system is the true efficiency multiplier that most content marketers consistently underestimate. Let's wrap this up with a clear, actionable roadmap detailing exactly what you should accomplish this very week. Pick one piece of long content, a webinar, a podcast episode, or a product demo. Next, automatically pull at least 10 short clips from that content, focusing on emotional peaks, snappy one-liners, or clear product demos. Then, you must produce 2 perfectly matched creative variations, one in the raw UGC style and one in the polished studio style. Crucially, ensure that both versions maintain the exact same core hook and the identical call to action. Launch both creatives simultaneously in an identical campaign split, ensuring they run undisturbed for a full 7-day testing cycle. Your sole focus during this time must be tracking the resulting click-through rates, add-to-cart metrics, and final purchase conversions. After the week concludes, immediately double down your spend on the clear winner and commit to refreshing your creative assets on a weekly cadence. This weekly refresh should involve rotating entirely new hooks and fresh marketing angles to proactively combat inevitable creative fatigue. At the end of the day, the best TikTok strategy isn't choosing a side forever. It's testing both, learning from the data, and building a system that can produce both types of creative quickly. If you automate the clip finding and scheduling part, you cut out weeks of busy work and free up energy to actually iterate on ideas. If you want a practical starting point, turn one long video into a week's worth of UGC clips and 2 studio cuts. Run the test. You will genuinely be surprised by just how many high-performing winners are hidden within the long-form content you've already created. And when you find the format that resonates, scale it. But don't forget to keep feeding the machine with fresh hooks. Thank you so much for taking the time to stick with me through this entire breakdown. If you have questions about how to set this up with your own content, or Want to see a step-by-step of turning a 60-minute live stream into a month's worth of posts? Drop a comment. I genuinely enjoy walking creators and brands through the practical setup process for this system. We will catch you all again in the next video.